My name is Sarah Maingi Hillman. I'm Mrs. Hillman. And I was born and bred in Kenya. I moved to the UK in 1996. I'm still there, but at the same time, I'm here in the country that I do love very much. Now, just giving you a little short story about myself. Initially, I grew up in a very supportive family. And like all of us, gets to a certain age, you want to settle down, which I did. Unfortunately, my marriage was an absolute disaster, and it's because I was in an abusive marriage. And having 4 children, I almost felt like I had nowhere to go. So I continued trying to persevere. I tried for a bit, and then I realized it's either my life and my children's lives, or I just simply exit with a goodbye. So I chose to exit. And that's when I took off with my children. And during that time, I was doing a lot of work between here in Athi River and the UK, because I had family who was studying there. And I was handling a lot of, the estate money. So I was able to support the rest of the family members who were outside the country. And so I was doing that. So when I was going, actually, first it was more like a visit. I used to visit back, and then eventually I moved out there because I had some things to sort out. And as a blessing, I would say, I met up with Mr. Hillman, who is my husband, and he adopted all my children. And we started a new life there. So I had 4 children when I left Kenya. I now have an extra 1 child, so that is 5 children in total. So women, there is hope. There is hope for you. If this could have happened to me, it can happen to you too. I know a lot of women, we get very disheartened and we feel very discouraged that, especially after you've had a child or 2, and like me, I had 4 children, you almost feel like that's it. There's nothing else for you. But believe me, there is hope. There's hope for each one of us. You just have to believe in yourself. And very important, believe. For me, I believed in God so much. And I just believed that He had a plan for me. And that's why I am where I am today. But I really want to touch on a few things. In my previous first marriage when I was in Kenya, the one very discouraging thing that I'll always remember is just the way I was made to feel. I was always being reminded, do you know that I am the man of the house? And I kept thinking to myself, yeah, of course, you are the man, I am the woman. Is there an argument about that? But it was one thing that made me, it suppressed me in a way that I did not have any courage to do anything, because it was always a matter of trying to make me feel you shouldn't be doing this because you're a woman and I'm the man. And that really made me not be who I should have been from the word go. But anyway, saying that, moving on, when I did move out of that marriage, thankfully to God, with my husband now, Mr. Hillman, Giles Hillman, it's just so lovely to see a man who respects me, a man who believes in me, and a man who encourages me in everything that I do. And that's what all of us women need. Because if he hadn't done that, I don't think I'd have done what I've done here in Athi River. Yes, I inherited property from my father, and I really wanted to go into doing something that I can enjoy, plus also make it an open place for, friends and other visitors, the tourists coming to Kenya. So it was a good start, and I had all the encouragement from my family, my immediate family, that is my husband and my children. And, you know, life went on. But then again, another hurdle, you know, that I'm almost getting over was, we came from a very, you know, good background, and I thank God for that. And we all inherited from my parents. But it just so happens that somewhere along the line, I found myself in a difficult position when what belonged to me, suddenly I was being bullied that it doesn't belong to you. You have to give so much out, you know, for a public road, and this is by force. So, yes, it's been going on for some good years. But for me, I would say, I know there's a lot happening. You know, let me talk about Kenya, because that's where I'm from, you know. And the experiences I've had is what really makes me want to talk about it. I realized that being a woman, especially in Kenya, I don't know what it is, but you're really looked down upon because you're supposed to be under the man, and it's almost you're supposed to be bowing down to the man. And I found that very difficult because, one, I am a very tough cookie, and I'm a very strong woman. I know that. And I like to stand up for my rights. And I tell everybody all the time, the last thing that I ever want to see is a man challenging me. It's okay for a woman to come and try and tell me something or challenge me. I could almost like cope with it. But when a man tries it on me, I'll be honest with you, it just goes horribly wrong. And it's because that's what I've been shown, you know, after having a gentleman of a father, then landing into a beast of the first marriage I had here. And then after that, having the experience of having to fight for my rights of what I was given by my father. And this is with men, you know, just men surrounding me here and making me feel as though, you know, you're just a woman. Almost like, shut up, you're a woman, we talk and you listen. It's never gone down well with me. And that's why I am fighting something that hopefully will eventually come to an end very soon. And I'm not just fighting for myself. I really feel this is a fight for many of us. Because how many people are out there who have had their own property and they have been forced or been, you know, they're subjected to issues to do with land, and they're being told, this belongs to us and not you, and you know it's yours. But because you cannot fight, either because financially it's difficult, or just generally having that support. Yeah? So for me, I just really feel I'm a voice for many that do not have that voice. And I will stand up and talk until the day you put me 6 foot under. I will not shut up. And it's because I'm really, 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 really angry by the way the system works. You know, I've been fighting something for the last we're going to the 10th year. And it's something which is very straightforward, but no, it's not. Because there's a procedures you have to go through, and this and that and this and that. And of course, I look like I'm a one-man show against so many men, mainly. And of course, the automatic thing that everybody says, yep, this man against this woman, it must be the man that is right and the woman is wrong. So they all flock onto the side of the man. And then I'm left fighting on my own. Now, if I did not have that strength to fight, frankly speaking, I'd have given up long time ago, and they'd have taken what they want to take with me not having any voice, because I was on my own. And worst of all, I am a woman. You know, how sad is that? So I've been fighting, and I want to see the end of it. because it's about time something changed. You know, I'm really thinking about, and I've been, you know, around courts when I hear, you know, people saying, you know, what can I do? You know, I don't have the money to fight this. You know, yes, it's my land, but what do I do? And it's just so painful because, yes, a lot of people have been pushed into that corner, forced to go through the slaughterhouse or just slaughtered alive, all because you have no say, you have no strength, financially you're not there to fight the case. But you know, there's going to be somebody who's given that position. Yes, it has, honestly, it's broken me in terms of physically, my health and everything. I'm not what I used to be once upon a time, even though the years are ticking, but I would have had much more energy if I hadn't had to go for almost 10 years over something that has just really chewed me up, you know, and I am, wait for this, I am going to talk about it when it's all over. I'm going to sit out there and talk about it because the government needs to change a few things. You know, I've been sitting back and watching all these different cases around. There's a Portland's one. There's a few of them around, which people come, you've paid for some land, you've built your property, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. It's the 9th year, for heaven's sake, is when you're being told this land is not legit, this land does not actually belong to you. Even though you bought it from people who, there was a dirty game behind it. And I'm thinking, why do we have to wait for that long? Can there not be a way that some of these obvious things can just be put forward, you stop it early and not allow people to get into, you know, wasting some of them have even taken their last pennies to build this place for their family. And then to be told it's being brought down by a bulldozer as you watch. I mean, I don't know, but I think that's one thing that really needs to be looked into. So for me, I am a fighter and I stand especially for the women. Women, I got you. I'm not gonna shut up and I don't care what anybody has to say to me. I will not shut up until I see some changes taking place. Why? Somebody has to have the voice. You know, and for me, yes, I live in the UK, I'm in Kenya quite often. I've seen how I could have had a very, very, you know, flourishing business, but it's not happened because my brakes were drawn and I've got no choice, but I have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait until eventually, you know, justice is given. So I'm here to talk for those of you who really haven't had a chance to talk and maybe are in the same position as me and feel you just need somebody to talk about it. So government, try and see, you know, how you can close some of these loopholes, and especially issues that can be dealt with, to be dealt with quickly without having to take forever until things have gone horribly wrong and then you're there saying, oh, you know, it had to go through the procedures. No, some things are in black and white. Deal with them quicker, you know, so that you can avoid people having to go through a really bad time. So apart from that, I've been in the UK and you know, I'm pleased to say, and I'm also proud to say that I was the first Kenyan woman to be made a chancellor in the UK, and I was elected in the Liberal Democrats card, and I would also want to say that I won by 80%, and it hasn't even been won. That 80% has not been won till today. So, women, believe in yourselves. You know, despite everything that I've been through, all the abuse and everything, I still believed in myself. So I became, you know, and also I was the first black, actually, I was the first black councillor in my county. So it was quite nice. I was recognized. I was able to, you know, meet the necessary people, and it was a good feeling, you know, just because, you know, it's coming from a woman. It was really a nice feeling, and I had the support, especially from my husband and my children. So then from there, that was about 2005, and I went into cooking. I kept my, my culture in place. So I did a lot of African food, which in all fairness has done extremely well. I won the best food in the biggest festival in the UK. It's known as Glastonbury Festival. So for 3 years, they recognized me having the best food. So that was another achievement, which was really nice. And then in 2007, because I do a lot of charity work, whatever food I cook, that's not money that I go and invest in houses to become richer. For me, money is money. And you know what? I'm gonna die one day, and I'm gonna leave that money right here. So while I'm alive, I've thought I wanna do my charity work. And we agreed before I got married, told my husband, you know what? You're marrying me, I come from Africa. And there's a lot of issues that have to be dealt with in Africa. Will you allow me to continue dealing with my issues in Africa? And that is supporting children's mother and, such. Anybody who's in need, I'm there to support them. And my husband very, very kindly said, that's fine. So I've been doing a lot of cooking in the UK. I sell the food with the money. I had an orphanage, in Kitui, which ran from 2004 until the time of the COVID, which we had to close. And then after that, I still have a group of women in Kibera. You guys call it kibera? Anyway, in Kibera, and most of them are, they're HIV positive, women, but widows, and I support them with their families to at least be able to help them get on with life. So they've got projects that they do, and I see where I can support. And again, just empowering them and making them feel, you know what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. In all honesty, it doesn't matter. People talk about, this, you're this, or, it doesn't matter where you are in life. You just need to believe yourself, and from that time onwards, do what you need to do and make sure that you make yourself happy, make yourself satisfied, and show the world that you are who you are, rather than being suppressed and being made to feel because you're a woman, because I don't have money, because I don't have this, I can't do this. No, you need to go out there and just say, I can do it. And that's me. Anybody who knows me, they'll tell you, she's a fighter. I'm a big fighter, and I fear nothing. I've been approached even here in Athi River. Can you become a councillor? Can you become a MCA? Can you become an MP? Can you become a governor? And I've said, no. I know myself. Because the problem about me, I just say it as it is, and a lot of men can't really take that. They can't take that from me. So I said, rather than losing my life over a seat in the country, let me be a backbencher, but have a voice to speak out, especially for the women and the ones who do not have that strength to fight. I'm there to stand by them, perk them up, and we move forward together. So that was, one of the things that I've taught the women in Kibera, to make sure that they just continue fighting the fight. There's no reason why they shouldn't. So I've supported the children, I've supported the widows, we've done quite a lot together actually. Then from there, I've also moved on to acquiring they had some kind of an election for the people who've remembered Africa. And there was an Remember Africa Award sometime in 2007, and I won that. And so again, I was recognized for that, and it's because of the charity work that I do back in the UK to make sure that I give back, here in Africa. Then when I sit back and think about some of the small achievements that I've made, I honestly say, if I, as one person, can do this, I'm just trying to think, how would it be if all of us sort of like joined hands and said, let's do this together? Frankly speaking, there would be no poverty in Kenya. If some of us are so busy looking at how many buildings you have, how much money you're getting every month, you know, how much you've acquired and how many cars you drive and name it. If you just sat back and said, you know what, this is enough for me, let me give this out to be able to help somebody else, I don't think there would be any poverty in Kenya. So what are we going to do about it? Let's join hands, Kenya. We really need to see that change. Okay? So let's begin to think in those lines. Then apart from that, I'm still waiting for whatever is going to be over about the Kenya issue. Then I can build up the place and then make it what I want it to be. But again, I just have to continue believing in myself. So apart from that, women, I'm sure, especially women, and those without a voice, I'm just here to tell you, be encouraged. There is nothing impossible, and especially with God. Put your faith in God and just go for it. Even if it doesn't look like it's going to happen, don't worry about that, because God has got you. That's what I want you to know. And as for our government, Honorable President, ministers, members of parliament, governors, and all the others who make Kenya, Kenya and hold it up for us, please guys, let's start thinking slightly differently about how we do our things for the sake of thinking of those who are less fortunate. How do we bring them up so that we are close to each other? That gap is too big. It's too big. We need to narrow that gap. So let's do this together. With love and prayers from me to you.